You talk about 3 different expeditions in this book. And what really struck me the most about all of them is where we have tests and tests and tests before we do something that's going to get somebody killed. In essence, and I'm being, a little bit hyperbolic here, but all 3 are kind of like, it should be fine. We haven't actually tried to do this exactly like this. In fact, nothing really even close to this, but we're pretty sure this is going to be fine. Is that something as you're reading it, you're like, there must be test flights or something that they're not writing down or I didn't see? Or were you sitting there going, these guys are nuts?
That's really, really interesting. Walter Wellman, in fact, was highly criticized because his first flights toward the North Pole with 3-man crews, including him, 2 other Americans, were test flights. Like he never tested it in Paris where the airship was built. And he had some rationale for this, saying that flights around France were not going to simulate flights in the Arctic because of the different temperature gradients and the different wind conditions. And to some extent, he was right. But to start your first pioneering attempt to the North Pole as a test flight shows a kind of bravado or foolhardiness. I mean, some of the journalists at the time were basically calling it a suicide mission, and it very nearly was. You do find that in the later airship attempts, these craft were tested much more rigorously. And in fact, Nobile flew the Norge over 1,000 miles to get to Svalbard to then begin to flight. So it had been tested much more than with Wellman, who just went off pretty much half-cocked.